Across the galaxy, from the temple spires of Coruscant to the desolate sands of Tatooine, from the frozen wastes of Hoth to the volcanic fury of Mustafar, every being attuned to the living force felt it, a rupture in the fabric of reality itself. Jedi Masters gasped mid-meditation, their connection to the cosmic energy flickering like candles in a sudden gale. Sith Lords recoiled in their shadowed chambers, feeling something vast and incomprehensible tear through the careful balance of light and dark. It was not the dark side rising, it was not the light ascending, it was something else entirely, raw, primal, untamed, a scream of pure rage that existed outside the Force's understanding, yet resonated through every living cell in the galaxy. Master Yoda, ancient beyond measure, sat in the high council chamber of the Jedi Temple. His eyes snapped open, pupils dilating with an emotion he had not felt in 800 years, fear, not for himself but for the galaxy. His gnarled fingers trembled against his walking stick. "Disturbed the Force is," he whispered, his voice barely audible. "Something comes, something, angry." Around him the council stirred. Mace Windu's hand instinctively moved toward his lightsaber. Obi-Wan Kenobi frowned, reaching out with his senses, only to pull back as if burned. "Master Yoda, I feel it too, but it's unlike anything I've ever encountered. Not Sith, not Jedi, just fury." High above the planet Corellia, in the vacuum of space where stars burned cold and distant, reality split. No explosion marked the event, no hyperspace tunnel tore open. Instead, the void simply cracked, like glass under impossible pressure. Through that fracture fell a pod, small, metallic, burning with atmospheric friction despite being in the vacuum. Inside, Dr. Bruce Banner's eyes snapped open. He had been fleeing, again, always fleeing. The experiment had gone wrong, another gamma radiation accident, another desperate attempt to cure himself of the monster within. The capsule was supposed to take him to a remote corner of space, somewhere he couldn't hurt anyone. Instead, the navigation systems had malfunctioned, dimensional coordinates corrupted, and now. Pain, pressure building, heart rate spiking. "No, no, no," Bruce gasped, his hands gripping the seat restraints. "Not now, please, not now." But the pod was burning, alarms screamed, G-forces crushed against him, and with that pressure came the familiar, terrible transformation. His skin flushed green, muscles expanded, tearing through his shirt. His eyes blazed with emerald fire. The pod's interior crumpled like paper as his body grew, 7 feet, 8 feet, 9 feet tall. The metal hull groaned, then shattered. Hulk smash. The roar that escaped his throat carried no language, no thought, only pure, distilled wrath. The pod exploded outward, fragments spinning into space. And there, suspended in the void, surrounded by the wreckage of science and sanity, Hulk hung, chest heaving, fists clenched, eyes burning with rage that had no target, no purpose, no end. For a moment, the universe held its breath. Then gravity remembered itself. Hulk plummeted toward Corellia, a green meteor trailing fire and fury. He crashed through the atmosphere at terminal velocity, his body absorbing heat that would have vaporized starships. Citizens in the streets below looked up to see a second sun blazing across the sky, growing larger, closer, brighter. When he struck the ground, the impact registered on seismic sensors across 3 continents. A crater formed 300 meters wide, edges still glowing molten orange. Dust clouds billowed outward like the breath of a dying god, and from that crater's heart Hulk rose, slowly, deliberately, his massive frame silhouetted against the smoke, muscles rippling with power that defied physics, biology, reason itself. Around him, the city burned, not from destruction, he hadn't struck any buildings, but from the sheer kinetic force of his landing. Windows had shattered for kilometers, speeders had crashed, the very air vibrated with residual energy. Hulk looked around, his simple mind processing shapes and colors. Tall buildings, strange machines floating in the air, creatures running, screaming. He didn't understand where he was, didn't care. All he knew was the rage, hot, endless, demanding release. He raised his fists and roared. The sound wave that emerged from his throat shattered remaining windows, set off every alarm within a mile radius, and caused the Force-sensitive population of Corellia to collapse, clutching their heads. The Force itself seemed to recoil from the sound, unable to process rage so pure it existed outside the duality of light and dark. In the Jedi Temple, Master Yoda's ears drooped. Arrived it has. Mace Windu stood, his face grim. "What do we do?" Yoda was silent for a long moment. When he finally spoke, his voice carried the weight of centuries. "No, I do not. But strong in the Force, this being is not. Strong in something else, something older." On Corellia, Hulk took his first step. The ground cracked beneath his foot. He took another step. Buildings trembled. Citizens fled in every direction, their screams fueling the rage that already consumed him. A squadron of planetary defense speeders arrived, their blasters charging. They opened fire, brilliant bolts of energy that could pierce starship hulls. The bolts struck Hulk's chest, his arms, his face. For a moment, they illuminated his green skin in flashes of red and blue. Then Hulk stopped moving. He looked down at his chest, where scorch marks faded even as he watched. His skin was already healing, gamma-infused cells regenerating faster than the damage could accumulate. He looked up at the speeders. His eyes narrowed. Hulk smash. He leaped a single bound that covered 200 meters and brought him level with the flying craft. His fist swung in a wide arc, connecting with the lead speeder. The vehicle didn't explode. It simply ceased to exist, atomized by the force of impact. The shockwave alone destroyed two more. Hulk landed, cratering the street again. He grabbed a nearby ground transport and hurled it skyward with casual ease. It tumbled end over end, crashing through a building's facade. Chaos erupted. The city's militia activated. Blaster fire filled the air. Grenades detonated. None of it mattered. Each attack only made Hulk angrier, and the angrier he became, the stronger he grew. Far above, in the cold reaches of space, a Star Destroyer's sensors detected the anomaly. Admiral Constantine frowned at the readout. "What am I looking at?" "Unknown, sir," the sensor officer reported. "Massive energy signature. Biological. Power levels fluctuating. No, not fluctuating. Increasing." "Increasing," Constantine leaned forward. "Get me a visual." The holodisplay flickered, showing the streets of Corellia. And there, in perfect clarity, they saw him, a creature of impossible size and strength, tearing through military hardware like it was made of parchment. Constantine's face went pale. "Alert the Inquisitorius, and get me a direct line to Lord Vader." On the surface, Hulk continued his rampage, each blow echoing through the Force like thunder. And somewhere, in the darkness between stars, a presence wearing black armor paused in his meditation. Darth Vader felt the disturbance, felt the rage, pure, undiluted, magnificent. And for the first time in years, he smiled beneath his mask. The hologram flickered in the center of the Jedi Council chamber, displaying the destruction on Corellia in haunting detail. Buildings collapsed like children's blocks, defense forces scattered like insects before a storm. And at the center of it all, a being of impossible green fury, each movement causing devastation measured not in meters, but in city blocks. Master Windu's jaw clenched. 17 minutes. He's been planetside for 17 minutes, and 6 districts are in ruins. "Casualty reports," Obi-Wan asked quietly, though his face already betrayed the answer he feared. "Surprisingly low," Ki-Adi-Mundi replied, his brow furrowed. "He's destroying infrastructure, vehicles, droids, anything that attacks him, but civilians who flee, he ignores them." Yoda's ears twitched. Controlled, his rage is not, but mindless it is not either. A pattern there is. The council watched as Hulk grabbed a military walker, lifted it overhead, and hurled it into an approaching gunship. Both exploded in a fireball that would have consumed a normal being. Hulk simply walked through the flames, his green skin unmarked. "What is he?" Plo Koon asked. "I sense no connection to the Force, no midichlorians, yet he exists outside natural law." "An abomination," Mace muttered, "or a weapon." "Or a victim," Obi-Wan countered, his tone sharp. "Look at his eyes, that's not malevolence, that's pain." The hologram zoomed closer, capturing Hulk's face. Beneath the rage, beneath the fury, there was something else: confusion, fear, the expression of a wounded animal lashing out at a world it didn't understand. Yoda nodded slowly. "See it, I do. Trapped he is, imprisoned in anger." "Then we help him," Obi-Wan said firmly. Mace turned sharply. "Help him, he's leveled half a city." "Because he's afraid, because he's being attacked. The more we fight, the worse this becomes." Obi-Wan gestured to the hologram, where Republic troops were launching another futile assault. "Every blaster bolt feeds his rage. We need a different approach." "Approach him how?" Ki-Adi-Mundi challenged. We don't speak his language. We don't understand his nature. Then we don't speak, Obi-Wan replied. We listen. Yoda's eyes brightened. Wise young Kenobi is. Send him, we should, with Skywalker. Mace's objection was immediate. Anakin, he's too volatile. This situation requires calm. Precisely why send him, we must, Yoda countered. Anger Skywalker knows. Struggle with darkness he does. See what we cannot, he might. The council exchanged glances. Finally, Mace nodded reluctantly. Very well, but Kenobi, you keep him in check, both of them. The Republic cruiser descended through Corellia's smoke-choked atmosphere. Inside, Anakin Skywalker stood at the viewport, watching the devastation below, his mechanical hand clenched and unclenched reflexively. You feel it, don't you? Obi-Wan said quietly, joining him. The rage, Anakin's voice was tight. Yeah, I feel it. It's like standing next to a sun made of anger. And yet you want to go down there. Anakin glanced at his former master. You think I'm going to lose control? I think, Obi-Wan said carefully, that this being's pain calls to something in you. I just want to make sure you remember, we're not there to judge him. We're there to help. I know, Anakin turned back to the window. But Master, what if he can't be helped? What if the anger is all there is? Obi-Wan placed a hand on his shoulder. Then we show him there's another way. Isn't that what you would have wanted when you were a slave on Tatooine, for someone to see past your anger to the person beneath? Anakin was silent for a long moment, then he nodded. The cruiser set down a safe distance from the chaos. As the ramp lowered, the sound hit them first, the roar of collapsing structures, the whine of failing repulsor lifts, and beneath it all, that terrible, primal roar. Hulk's strongest there is. The words were simple, almost childlike, yet carried such force that the very air vibrated. Anakin and Obi-Wan approached on foot, lightsabers unlit but ready. Around them the city burned. Ahead through the smoke they saw him, Hulk, standing atop a pile of crushed military hardware, chest heaving, fists dripping with molten metal. He noticed them immediately, his head turned, eyes narrowing. For a moment all was still. Easy, Obi-Wan murmured. We mean no harm. Hulk's lip curled. Words, everyone says words, then they shoot. His voice was thunder given form. Anakin actually took a step back, hand moving toward his lightsaber. Obi-Wan caught his wrist. No weapons, Obi-Wan said softly. Then louder, addressing Hulk. You're right, we do say words, but look, he opened his hands, showing them empty. No shooting, no weapons, just words. Hulk's massive chest rose and fell, his breathing labored. WORDS lie. Sometimes, Obi-Wan admitted, but sometimes they're all we have to understand each other. What's your name? Hulk. Hulk, Obi-Wan repeated, the name strange on his tongue. I'm Obi-Wan. This is Anakin. We're Guardians, Protectors. Hulk not need protection. He slammed his fists together, the impact creating a shockwave that knocked both Jedi back several steps. Hulk protect self. Anakin steadied himself, frustration flashing across his face. But before he could speak, Obi-Wan continued, his voice gentle. I believe you. You're strong, incredibly strong. But strength isn't just about protecting yourself, is it? It's about controlling when and how you use that strength. Hulk's eyes flickered, confusion replacing rage for just an instant. Hulk, control. Yes, Obi-Wan took a cautious step forward. I can feel your pain, Hulk. The anger isn't what you want, it's what you're trapped in. Someone hurt you, someone made you this way. For the first time, Hulk's posture shifted. His shoulders sagged slightly. Banner made Hulk, Banner stupid, Banner weak. Anakin's eyes widened. Banner, who's Banner? Hulk's face twisted, an expression somewhere between fury and agony. Banner is, Hulk is, we. His words failed. Frustration surged, his fists clenched. No, Hulk not talking HURTS. He grabbed a nearby speeder wreck and hurled it at them. Anakin's lightsaber ignited in a blur of blue light, slicing the projectile in half. The pieces tumbled past them harmlessly. Hulk stared at the glowing blade, his rage momentarily replaced by curiosity. Bright stick. Anakin couldn't help it, he almost smiled. Lightsaber, it's a weapon but also a tool. It cuts through lies, through darkness. He paused, an idea forming. It helps us control the energy inside us, the power that wants to destroy. Hulk's eyes fixed on the blade. Control, he repeated, the word heavy with longing. But before either Jedi could respond, the sky darkened. A massive shadow fell over the ruined district. All three looked up. A Star Destroyer had arrived. Its underbelly bristled with turbolaser batteries, all swiveling toward the crater where they stood. Obi-Wan's comlink crackled. Jedi, this is Admiral Constantine. Clear the area immediately. We are authorized to use lethal force. Belay that order, Obi-Wan shouted into the device. We're attempting contact. Your attempt has failed. All units, open fire. The sky lit up with green turbolaser fire. Massive bolts of energy rained down, each capable of destroying a building. They converged on Hulk's position. Obi-Wan and Anakin leaped clear, the force propelling them to safety, but Hulk stood his ground, arms raised, as the barrage struck him. Explosions engulfed him. Dust and fire rose in a column that blotted out the sun. The barrage continued for 10 seconds, 20, 30, an assault that could have leveled a city. Finally, silence. Smoke drifted across the crater. Admiral Constantine nodded in satisfaction. Target neutralized. Dispatch cleanup crews. The smoke cleared. Hulk stood exactly where he had been. His skin glowed faintly green, residual energy crackling across his muscles. His chest heaved, not from injury, but from breathing. And his eyes burned with a fury that made the previous rage look like a candle beside a star. Hulk, his voice was a low growl that shook the ground. Gtting. His muscles swelled, growing larger, veins pulsing with gamma radiation. Angrier. He leaped a single bound that carried him 500 meters into the air, directly toward the hovering Star Destroyer. Anakin and Obi-Wan could only watch, speechless, as the green giant collided with the warship's hull. Metal shrieked, bulkheads buckled, alarm klaxons wailed across every deck. Hulk tore through the armor plating like paper, ripping a hole large enough to walk through. Then he simply started punching, each blow denting the internal structure, each impact sending shockwaves through the entire ship. Inside the bridge, Admiral Constantine screamed orders. Evasive maneuvers, all power to shields. But there were no shields against this. Hulk wasn't a weapon the ship could track or target. He was chaos incarnate, rage given form, and he was tearing the Star Destroyer apart from the inside. The warship began to list, its engines failing, and as it fell from the sky, trailing fire and debris, Hulk stood atop its hull, roaring his defiance to the uncaring stars. On the ground, Obi-Wan turned to Anakin, his face grim. We need to contain this, before he tears the entire planet apart. Anakin nodded, his expression haunted. Master, what if we can't? Above them, the Star Destroyer crashed into the ocean beyond the city, sending up a tsunami of steam and salt water. And through the spray, Hulk's silhouette emerged, still standing, still furious. Still unstoppable. In the deepest shadows of the galaxy, where even light feared to tread, the Emperor sat upon his throne. His face was hidden beneath a cowl of darkness so absolute it seemed to devour reality itself. Around him, the chamber pulsed with the dark side, whispers of ancient Sith, echoes of torment, the collected anguish of 1,000 worlds. He did not need holographic reports. He did not require sensor data. Through the Force, Palpatine saw everything, every tremor, every disturbance, every anomaly that rippled through the fabric of existence. And this was no mere anomaly. His withered lips curled into a smile that would have driven lesser beings mad. Magnificent, he whispered, his voice like the rustle of funeral shrouds. A being of pure rage, untouched by the Force, neither Jedi nor Sith, simply power. Before him, a kneeling figure stirred. Darth Vader rose to his full, imposing height, his breathing a mechanical rhythm that echoed through the chamber. Master, the creature has destroyed one of our Star Destroyers. Admiral Constantine is dead. Shall I dispatch the Inquisitorius? No, Palpatine said, his tone thoughtful. This requires a different approach. Tell me, my apprentice, what do you sense when you reach out toward this being? Vader was silent for a moment, his mask turning slightly as if listening to distant thunder. Anger, my master. Anger deeper than the deepest ocean, stronger than gravity itself. It is familiar. Familiar, Palpatine's yellow eyes gleamed from beneath his hood. Explain. It reminds me of Vader's mechanical hands clenched, of Mustafar, of the moment I lost everything and found my true power. But this creature's anger has no focus, no purpose, it simply is. And therein lies both its weakness and its potential, Palpatine mused. He rose from his throne, robes flowing like living shadow. Anger without direction is chaos, but anger properly channeled. He gestured, and a hologram appeared, Hulk, mid-rampage, tearing through military forces. That is the foundation of the Sith. You wish to turn him, Vader said. It was not a question. Turn him? No, my friend, I wish to aim him. Palpatine's smile widened. Imagine, a weapon that grows stronger the more it is opposed. A being that cannot be corrupted because it has no beliefs to corrupt. Pointed at our enemies, the rebellion, the Jedi, entire star systems, and watch as it obliterates everything in its path. Vader considered this. The creature seems simple. Can it even be reasoned with? Simple minds are the easiest to manipulate, Palpatine replied. They have fewer defenses. Offer it what it wants, and it will serve without even realizing it's being used. And what does it want? Palpatine's eyes glittered. To be left alone, to be understood, to be seen as more than a monster. He chuckled darkly. All the things the Jedi will promise but cannot deliver. They will try to restrain him, control him, imprison him in their dogma. We, however, he spread his hands. We will offer him freedom. Freedom to rage, to destroy, to be exactly what he is. And in gratitude, he will become our ultimate weapon. Vader nodded slowly. I will prepare a ship. No, Palpatine raised a hand. You will not approach him yet. First, we let the Jedi fail. Let them try their peace, their understanding, their naive compassion. When he inevitably loses control and harms them, when he sees the fear in their eyes, then we arrive. We offer him acceptance, camaraderie, a place where his anger is not a curse but a gift. Deception, Vader said. Strategy, Palpatine corrected, and it begins with a simple seed. He manipulated the hologram, zooming in on Hulk's face, the confusion, the pain barely visible beneath the rage. That creature does not want to destroy. He wants to protect something, find out what, and we will use it. Meanwhile, on Corellia, the Jedi had regrouped. The city was evacuated, military forces withdrawn. Obi-Wan and Anakin stood at the edge of the impact zone, watching Hulk from a distance. The green giant sat atop the ruins of a building, strangely still, his massive head bowed. He's calming down, Anakin observed. The angrier he gets, the stronger he becomes, but when there's nothing to fight. The anger has nowhere to go, Obi-Wan finished. It turns inward. Look at him, Anakin, he's suffering. Indeed, Hulk's posture was one of defeat rather than victory. His massive hands were clenched, but not in fists, more like he was trying to hold something invisible that kept slipping away. Banners, the word was barely audible, a whisper from a creature capable of shaking mountains. Want Banner back. Obi-Wan's comlink chirped. Master Yoda's voice crackled through. Progress have you made? Minimal, Obi-Wan admitted. He's calming, but he won't let us approach, and he keeps mentioning someone named Banner. I think there's another person inside him, or there was. Two souls, one body. Yoda's voice was troubled. Dangerous such division is, to peace lead it cannot. Then we help him reunite them, Anakin interjected. There has to be a way, the Force. Beyond the Force this is, Yoda interrupted. Feel him, can you, truly? Anakin closed his eyes, reaching out. When his senses touched the place where Hulk was, it was like pressing against a wall of static, not empty, but incomprehensible. No, Master, he's nothing, a void where someone should be. Because powered by science, he is, not mysticism, Yoda explained. Help him, the Force cannot, but perhaps he can help the Force understand. I don't follow, Obi-Wan said. Balance the Force seeks. Light, dark, two sides, one whole. But this being, neither side claims him, exists outside the duality he does. Show us, he might, that more to the universe there is than light and dark. Anakin frowned. You want us to learn from a monster. Monster is he? Yoda's voice was gentle but firm. Or just misunderstood. Remember, Anakin Skywalker once thought a monster you were, slave, angry child, too old for training, yet look at you now. Anakin fell silent, the rebuke hitting home. Obi-Wan stepped forward. We'll try again, Master, but we need time and assurance that the Republic won't attack again. Guarantee that I cannot, Yoda admitted. Fear, the Senate feels. Pressure on the Jedi they place. Solve this quickly, we must. The transmission ended. Obi-Wan sighed, looking at Anakin. Well, no pressure then. Before Anakin could respond, Hulk's head snapped up. His nostrils flared. His eyes narrowed, scanning the horizon. What is it? Anakin whispered. Smell, Hulk rumbled. Smell lies. From the shadows of a collapsed building, a figure emerged, cloaked in black, face hidden, moving with predatory grace. The dark side radiated from him like heat from a forge. An Inquisitor. Greetings, creature, the Inquisitor said, his voice smooth, cultured. I bring a message from one who understands you, one who does not fear your strength. Hulk rose to his feet, his full height towering over the Inquisitor, WHO. A master of power, a liberator. He knows what it is to be shackled by weakness, to be forced into a role you did not choose. The Inquisitor gestured toward Obi-Wan and Anakin. These Jedi will tell you to control yourself, to suppress your anger, to become less than you are. Lies, Obi-Wan ignited his lightsaber, stepping forward. We want to help him. Help him be your weapon, the Inquisitor countered. My master offers something greater, freedom. Freedom to be exactly what you are, without apology, without restraint. Hulk's gaze shifted between the Jedi and the Inquisitor. His simple mind struggled with the concepts, the words, free. Yes, free, the Inquisitor extended a hand. Come with me. Let us show you a place where strength is celebrated, not feared. Anakin moved to intercept, but Obi-Wan held him back. Wait. They watched as Hulk stared at the offered hand. For a long moment, nothing happened. Then Hulk spoke, his voice quieter than before. Banner say, no trust easy words. The Inquisitor's confidence faltered. Banner. Puny Banner smart, Hulk strong together. Hulk's eyes focused with sudden clarity. We know tricks. He swatted the Inquisitor aside like an insect. The man flew 30 meters, crashing through a wall. When he struggled to rise, Hulk was already there, one massive hand pinning him to the ground. Hulk not free, he growled, but Hulk not slave either. Obi-Wan and Anakin exchanged glances. For the first time, they saw not just rage in Hulk's eyes, but something else. Will, choice. Despite everything, despite the anger and confusion, he was choosing not to be used. The Inquisitor managed to gasp out, You will regret this. The Emperor does not forgive. Hulk not care about Emperor. He lifted the Inquisitor like a rag doll. Tell Emperor, leave Hulk alone, or Hulk smash Emperor too. He hurled the Inquisitor into the sky. The man's scream faded into the distance, a black speck against the clouds. Hulk turned back to the Jedi. His chest still heaved with anger, but his eyes were different, less wild, more focused. Jedi, he said slowly, Jedi not lie. Obi-Wan deactivated his lightsaber, bowing slightly. We try not to. Lies are tools of the Sith, those who serve the Emperor. We seek truth, balance. Balance, Hulk seemed to taste the word. Banner talk about balance. Hulk and Banner need balance. Then let us help you find it, Obi-Wan said gently. For the first time since arriving in this strange galaxy, Hulk did not roar. He did not smash. He simply nodded. It was a small gesture, but in that moment, the Force itself seemed to exhale, as if witnessing something impossible, a being of pure rage choosing peace. Far away in his throne room, Palpatine felt the shift. His smile faded. Interesting, he murmured, more complex than anticipated. Beside him, Vader spoke. Shall I intervene personally, Master? Palpatine considered, then slowly he began to smile again. No, let the Jedi have their victory. Let them believe they've saved him. His eyes glowed with malevolent cunning. But keep watch. Everyone breaks eventually, and when he does, we will be there. The trap was set. The pieces were moving. And in the center of it all, a confused, angry being named Hulk had just made the most dangerous choice of all. He had chosen to trust. The Jedi transport descended through Coruscant skyways, weaving between traffic lanes thick with speeders, cargo haulers, and atmospheric craft. Inside, Hulk sat hunched in a cargo bay that had been hastily reinforced with durasteel plating. Even seated, his head nearly touched the ceiling. His massive hands rested on his knees, fingers drumming an anxious rhythm that made the entire ship shudder. Obi-Wan and Anakin stood near the entrance, maintaining a respectful distance. Neither spoke. The silence was fragile, like glass stretched too thin. "Big city," Hulk rumbled, his eyes tracking the endless sprawl of Coruscant through a viewport. "Many people." "The most populated planet in the galaxy," Obi-Wan confirmed. "Home to the Jedi Temple, the Senate, and, well, nearly 1 trillion beings." Hulk's expression darkened. "Trillion people, to hurt Hulk." "No," Anakin said quickly, "to live their lives. Most of them don't even know you exist." "Yet," Hulk muttered, "they learn, they always learn, then THUI hunt." Obi-Wan recognized the pain beneath those words, the voice of someone who had been hunted, feared, rejected. "Not here," he said firmly. "The Jedi Temple is a place of learning, not fear. We study the Force, seek balance. You'll be safe." Hulk's eyes fixed on him. Banner not safe anywhere, Hulk not safe, together, still not safe. Before Obi-Wan could respond, the temple's spires came into view, elegant towers of stone and light, crowned with astronomical instruments and meditation chambers. To most beings, it was breathtaking. To Hulk, it was just another building full of people who would eventually fear him. The transport landed on a private platform, cleared of all personnel. As the ramp lowered, Hulk rose to his full height, muscles coiling with tension. Each step he took down the ramp left deep impressions in the metal. Waiting at the platform's edge stood Master Yoda, flanked by an honor guard of Jedi Knights. Their lightsabers were unlit but visible, a precaution that did not escape Hulk's notice. "Guards," he growled, "knew it." "A formality," Yoda said, his ancient voice carrying surprising authority for such a small being. "Fear you, we do not. Protect others from misunderstanding, we must." He dismissed the guards with a wave. They bowed and retreated, though their unease was palpable. Hulk stared down at Yoda. The contrast was almost comical, a creature of towering rage facing a wizened alien barely reaching his knee. Yet something in Yoda's eyes gave Hulk pause. There was no fear there, no judgment, only curiosity. "You small," Hulk observed. "Size matters not," Yoda replied, a hint of amusement in his tone. "Judge me by my size, do you?" Hulk grunted. "Banner joke. Big things, small PACKAGES." Yoda's ears perked up. "Banner," the other voice, "speak more of him, you should." For the first time, Hulk's aggression faltered. His massive shoulders sagged. "Banner, scientist, smart, weak, puny, but good, tried to help people. Experiment GO wrong. Radiation. Change Banner, make Hulk." "An accident then," Obi-Wan said gently. "You didn't choose this." "Banner choose, Banner always choose bad. Try to fix things, break things more, then Hulk come. Hulk protect Banner, but Banner hate Hulk, want Hulk gone." Anakin stepped forward, his voice softer than usual. "That must be lonely, being hated by the person you're trying to protect." Hulk's eyes met his, and for a moment the anger cleared. "You understand." "More than you'd think," Anakin admitted, thinking of his own inner struggles, the darkness he fought daily. "Sometimes the thing that gives us power is the thing that scares us most." Yoda nodded sagely. "Walk with me, you shall. Much to discuss, we have." They moved through the temple's corridors, Hulk forced to duck beneath doorways and sidestep columns. Jedi younglings peeked from training rooms, their eyes wide with wonder rather than fear. They didn't yet know to be afraid. Hulk noticed their curiosity, and something in his expression softened. "Children," he said, "Hulk like children, honest, not fake." "Innocent," Yoda agreed. "See with hearts they do, not eyes. Perhaps teach us they can how to see you truly." They entered a vast meditation chamber, its ceiling open to the sky. Shafts of sunlight pierced through, illuminating a circular floor inlaid with ancient symbols. In the center, a single meditation mat awaited. "Sit you will," Yoda instructed. Hulk looked skeptical, "Mat too small." "Sit," Yoda repeated, patient as stone. Grumbling, Hulk lowered himself. The floor groaned but held. He crossed his massive legs awkwardly, looking ridiculous, a mountain trying to meditate. Yoda positioned himself opposite, closing his eyes. "Quiet your mind. Listen not to anger. Listen to silence." Hulk not know HOW. "Try, you must." For several minutes nothing happened. Hulk's breathing remained heavy, his fists clenched, but gradually something shifted. The temple's ambient sounds, the distant hum of traffic, the whisper of wind through corridors began to filter through his awareness. His breathing slowed, his fists unclenched. And then, deep within his mind, he heard it. Bruce. The voice was his own, yet not, smaller, frightened, familiar. Banner. Oh God, Bruce, where are we? What happened? Hulk protect, Hulk always protect. I know you do, but I'm scared. I don't understand this place, these people. Jedi they, different, not hurt us. Yet. Yet Banner's voice echoed, heavy with learned paranoia. It's always yet. We should run, we should. No, Hulk's internal voice was firm, tired of running, tired of smashing, want different. For a long moment, Banner was silent. Then, you're changing. You've never talked like this before. Maybe Hulk learned, maybe Banner learned too, maybe we both stop fighting each other. Obi-Wan, watching from the sidelines, whispered to Anakin, look at his face. Hulk's features were softening, the harsh lines of rage giving way to something almost peaceful. His breathing deepened, synchronized with some internal rhythm. Yoda's eyes remained closed, but a faint smile touched his lips. Finding balance he is, not between light and dark, but between two halves of one whole. Rare such a thing is, beautiful. But the peace was fragile. From the corridor outside, hurried footsteps approached. Mace Windu burst into the chamber, his face grim. Masters, we have a situation. The Senate has issued an emergency mandate. They want the creature, he glanced at Hulk, removed from Coruscant immediately, by force if necessary. Hulk's eyes snapped open, the momentary peace shattered. Force. They're frightened, Mace explained, though his tone suggested he shared their concern. A being of unknown origin, immense power, no connection to the Force. It threatens the very foundation of our understanding. The senators are demanding action. Senators not understand, Hulk growled, rising to his feet. The floor cracked beneath him. Hulk not want trouble, just want peace, but they make trouble anyway. Then show them, Anakin said urgently. Show them you're not a threat, we'll speak on your behalf. Words won't be enough, Mace interrupted. They want a demonstration, proof that you can control your power. Hulk's laugh was bitter. Control, Hulk smash when angry, get angrier when smashed. How Hulk control that? Yoda stood leaning on his walking stick. Control, you seek in wrong place. Not control anger, you must control response to anger. What difference? All the difference, Yoda replied. Anger will come. Always it will come, but choose what you do with it you can. Smash or breathe, destroy or create, the choice. Always yours it is. Hulk stared at the ancient Jedi Master, processing. Somewhere inside, Banner whispered, he's right, Bruce. We've spent so long trying to eliminate the Hulk, we never thought about working with him. Working, Hulk's internal voice was skeptical. Banner always want Hulk gone. Maybe I was wrong, Banner admitted. Maybe you're not the disease. Maybe you're the cure I was too afraid to take. Hulk felt something shift, not a transformation, but an integration. For the first time, he and Banner were not fighting. They were listening. Okay, Hulk said aloud. Hulk try, but if THUI attack. Then we defend you, Obi-Wan promised. Not as masters controlling a weapon, but as friends protecting one another. The word hung in the air, friends. Hulk had never had friends. Banner had colleagues, acquaintances, people who tolerated him until the Hulk emerged. But friends. Friends, Hulk repeated, testing the word. Then slowly he nodded. Okay, Hulk have friends now. Outside, the Senate prepared their contingencies. The military mobilized. The Emperor watched from his shadows, amused by the Jedi's naivety. Darth Vader boarded his personal ship, ready to intervene when not if the situation collapsed into violence. But in that meditation chamber, something unprecedented occurred. A being of pure rage chose trust over fury. And the Force, which had observed galaxies rise and fall, which had witnessed the birth and death of stars, paused to witness this moment. For in the choice between destruction and connection, the Green Giant had chosen connection. And that choice would reshape everything. The Senate Rotunda was a cathedral of democracy and dysfunction, its vast circular chamber filled with thousands of hovering platforms, each bearing representatives from worlds across the galaxy. Their voices rose in a cacophony of demands, accusations, and political maneuvering. At the center, Chancellor Palpatine sat in his elevated throne, his expression one of serene concern, though his eyes glittered with hidden amusement. On the chamber floor stood Hulk, looking absurdly out of place among the polished politicians and their ornate platforms. Beside him, Obi-Wan and Mace Windu served as advocates, their Jedi robes stark white against the chamber's shadows. "Order, order," Palpatine's voice boomed through amplifiers, silencing the crowd. "We convene this emergency session to address the presence of the entity known as Hulk." He gestured graciously toward the green giant. "While the Jedi Council has vouched for his peaceful intentions, this body has concerns, grave concerns." A Rhodian senator's platform floated forward. This creature destroyed an entire Star Destroyer, casualties numbered in the thousands. "Star Destroyer shoot first," Hulk rumbled, his voice echoing through the chamber. "Hulk defend." "Defense," a human senator scoffed. "You obliterated a military vessel." After, Obi-Wan interjected calmly, said vessel fired upon him without provocation. "By Republic law, that constitutes self-defense." "Republic law applies to citizens," another senator countered. "This, Hulk, has no registration, no homeworld, no legal standing. For all we know, he's a weapon deployed by separatists." "Hulk not weapon," the giant's voice shook the platforms. Several senators grabbed their railings for balance. "Hulk, person." Palpatine raised a placating hand. "Peace, my large friend. No one here doubts your personhood, but you must understand our position. We have a galaxy to protect. We require assurances." "WHAT ASSURANCES." "A demonstration," Palpatine said smoothly. "Show us that you can control your power, that you pose no threat to the innocent." Hulk's eyes narrowed. "Demonstration, mean fight." "A test," Mace Windu corrected quickly. "A controlled environment. You prove you can restrain yourself, and the Senate grants you sanctuary." Hulk looked to Obi-Wan, who nodded encouragingly. Inwardly, Banner's voice whispered, "It's a trap. They want you to fail." "Maybe, but maybe we surprise them." Aloud, Hulk said, "Okay, Hulk, do test." The Senate murmured approval. Palpatine's smile widened. "Excellent. The trial shall commence at dawn in the Petronaki Arena. May the Force be with you, Hulk." The arena on Geonosis had once hosted gladiatorial games and executions. Now, it served as the stage for Hulk's trial. Rows of Senate observers filled the stands, protected by energy shields. At the arena's center, Hulk stood alone, his green skin stark against the rust-red sand. Obi-Wan addressed him from the edge. "Remember, restraint. You're not here to win. You're here to prove you can choose not to destroy." "Hulk, understand." Across the arena, massive gates groaned open. From the darkness emerged three rankers, enormous reptilian beasts bred for combat, their hides thick as starship armor, their claws sharp enough to shred durasteel. They roared, shaking the stadium. "Big lizards," Hulk observed. Hulk fought bigger. The rankers charged. The ground shook beneath their weight. They moved with surprising speed, closing the distance in seconds. Hulk didn't move. He stood his ground, fists clenched, watching them come. At the last possible moment, he clapped. The shockwave that erupted from his hands was a physical wall of air and force. It struck the rankers mid-charge, sending all three tumbling backward like kicked toys. They crashed into the arena walls, stunned but unharmed. The crowd gasped. Hulk hadn't punched, hadn't torn, hadn't killed, just redirected. One ranker recovered, shaking its massive head. It charged again, roaring fury. This time Hulk caught it, massive hands gripping the creature's tusks. For a moment they were locked in a contest of strength. The ranker pushed. Hulk pushed back. Then gently Hulk twisted, not breaking, just guiding. The ranker found itself flipped onto its back, legs flailing. It lay there, confused but uninjured, as Hulk released it and stepped back. "See," Hulk called to the stands. "Hulk not hurt, Hulk defend." The second and third rankers, seeing their alpha subdued, backed away cautiously. They were predators, yes, but not stupid. This green creature was Apex. Applause rippled through some sections of the crowd. Others remained silent, skeptical. Palpatine stood, his voice amplified. "Impressive, but the trial is not complete. We must test your response to provocation." Before Hulk could react, energy cages descended from above, trapping the rankers. Automated turrets emerged from the arena walls, their barrels glowing with charge. "What?" Hulk began. They fired blaster bolts, dozens, hundreds rained down on him. The pain was instant, sharp, not lethal but agonizing. His skin smoked, his nerves screamed. "Stop," Hulk roared. "Hulk pass test, why you shoot?" "To see how much you can endure," Palpatine said, his tone clinical, "before you lose control." In the stands, Obi-Wan leapt to his feet. "This is not what we agreed." Mace Windu's hand went to his lightsaber. "Chancellor, cease this immediately." But the turrets continued. The barrage intensified. Hulk dropped to one knee, arms raised defensively. His skin began to glow, the telltale sign of gamma radiation building, anger rising. "Stop, please." His voice cracked with something other than rage, pain, genuine suffering. Hulk trying. Inside, Banner screamed, "Fight back, smash them, they're hurting us." "No, PROMISCD control. They're not going to stop, they want us to break." Then's Hulk not break. The arena filled with the sound of sustained blaster fire. Smoke obscured Hulk's form. The crowd watched in horrified fascination. Then slowly Hulk stood. His skin was scorched, smoking, but already healing. His eyes blazed with fury barely contained. Every muscle in his body trembled with the effort of restraint. He did not smash, he did not roar. He simply walked, one agonizing step at a time, toward the nearest turret, reached out, gripped the barrel, and crushed it, gently, deliberately, then moved to the next. One by one, he disabled every turret, not by destroying the arena, not by rampaging, just by methodically, painfully demonstrating control. When the last turret fell silent, Hulk stood in the center of the arena, chest heaving, fists clenched so tight his knuckles were white, but he didn't attack, didn't even shout. "Test over," he panted. "Hulk win." The silence in the stadium was absolute. Then from one section, a single clap, then another. Soon half the Senate was applauding, genuine, awed applause. They had witnessed something impossible, a being of limitless rage choosing mercy. Palpatine's smile never wavered, but his eyes betrayed calculation. This had not gone as planned. The creature was more resilient, more controlled than anticipated. Obi-Wan rushed onto the arena floor, placing a hand on Hulk's massive arm. "You did it. I'm so proud of you." Hulk looked down at him, surprised, proud. "You showed them something more powerful than strength. You showed them will." For the first time since arriving in this galaxy, Hulk smiled. Not a grimace of rage, but a genuine, almost shy smile. "Hulk, have friends," he said quietly, as if reminding himself. But in the shadows of the Senate box, Palpatine leaned toward an aide. "Activate contingency, Omega. If we cannot break him here, we will break him elsewhere." The aide nodded and slipped away. The trap was evolving, and Hulk, for all his strength, had no idea what was coming. Deep in the bowels of Coruscant, far below the glittering spires and Senate halls, lay the underworld, a labyrinth of pipes, forgotten tunnels, and criminal enterprises. Here, in the perpetual twilight, the Empire's true face showed itself. A secret facility, unmarked and unrecorded, hummed with activity. Stormtroopers patrolled its corridors. Scientists in gray uniforms monitored screens filled with data. And in the central chamber, a massive containment pod stood empty, its interior lined with energy dampeners and reinforced with metals harvested from collapsed stars. Darth Vader stood before it, his breathing echoing through the chamber. "You are certain this will hold him?" The lead scientist, a nervous Bith with bulbous eyes, nodded rapidly. "Why, yes, Lord Vader. The pod is designed to contain force sensitives, yes, but we've adapted it. Gamma radiation shielding, kinetic dampeners rated for planetary impacts, neural disruptors." "I did not ask for specifications," Vader interrupted coldly. "I asked if it will hold." "It will hold," the scientist confirmed, though his trembling suggested otherwise. Vader turned away, his cape sweeping dramatically. "Then prepare for transport. When the Jedi's pet monster inevitably fails them, we will be ready. The Emperor wants him intact, broken but intact." "What if the Jedi interfere?" Vader's hand flexed, and the scientist felt an invisible pressure around his throat, a warning. "Then they will learn the price of opposing the Empire." Meanwhile, in the Jedi Temple, Hulk sat in a meditation garden, watching a fountain's gentle flow. The sound of water seemed to calm him, the rhythmic splashing a counterpoint to the chaos in his mind. Younglings played nearby, occasionally glancing his way with curiosity rather than fear. A small Twi'lek girl, approached timidly. "Mr. Hulk, can you lift the fountain?" Hulk glanced at her, then at the massive stone structure. "Probably." "Will you?" "Maybe break, then no fountain. You be sad." The girl considered this. "You're nice. Master Yoda was right." "Yoda say Hulk nice." "He says you're trying. That's the same thing." Hulk felt something strange in his chest, warmth that wasn't anger. Banner's voice echoed softly. "She sees us, Bruce. Not the monster, just us." "Maybe we not monster, maybe just different." Obi-Wan approached, his expression grave. "Hulk, we need to talk." The green giant rose, towering over him. "Bad news, always bad news." "I'm afraid so. Our intelligence suggests the Empire is planning something. They're not satisfied with your demonstration. Palpatine wants you under his control or eliminated." "Let them try," Hulk's voice hardened. Hulk not afraid. "That's what concerns me," Obi-Wan said gently. "Not fear, overconfidence. The Empire doesn't fight fair. They'll target your weaknesses." "Hulk no weakness." "Everyone has weaknesses. Yours is Banner." Hulk's expression shifted, a flicker of vulnerability. "Banner, inside, safe." "Is he?" Obi-Wan challenged. "What if they find a way to separate you, to trap one while using the other?" Inside, Banner's voice turned panicked. "He's right. Oh God, he's right. If they isolate me, keep me in human form." "Hulk protect, always protect." "But what if you can't?" The question hung unanswered. Hulk's fists clenched. What Jedi want Hulk do? "Leave Coruscant," Obi-Wan said. "Not because we fear you, but because we fear for you. Go somewhere remote, somewhere the Empire can't reach. We'll work on a diplomatic solution." "Run away," Hulk's tone was bitter. "Hulk always run, tired of running." "It's not running, it's surviving." "Same thing." Hulk turned toward the fountain, his massive shoulders sagging. "Banner run whole life, from father, from soldiers, from self, then make Hulk. And Hulk run too, maybe time stop running, stand ground." Before Obi-Wan could respond, alarms blared throughout the temple. Red emergency lights flashed. Over the intercom, Mace Windu's voice boomed. "All Jedi to defensive positions. Imperial forces are breaching the lower levels." Hulk's head snapped up. "Thay here, come for Hulk." "No," Anakin said, sprinting into the garden with his lightsaber drawn. "They're here for all of us. The temple is under attack." In the temple's lower chambers, stormtroopers poured through hastily blown breaches. Their blasters cut down Padawans caught off guard. Jedi Knights rallied, lightsabers blazing, but the sheer numbers were overwhelming. And then Darth Vader arrived. He strode through the chaos like a force of nature, his red lightsaber carving through Jedi defenses with contemptuous ease. His breathing was the only sound louder than the screams. "Where is the creature?" he demanded of a captured knight, his mechanical hand crushing the Jedi's windpipe. "Go to hell," the knight gasped. Vader released him, not out of mercy, but efficiency. He simply reached into the dying Jedi's mind, tearing the information free. The meditation garden, how fitting. He advanced upward, leaving carnage in his wake. Hulk heard the screams, felt the vibrations of battle through the stone. His muscles tensed, rage building like a pressure cooker. "People hurt," he growled. "Children scared because of Hulk." "No," Obi-Wan said firmly. "Because of the Empire, this isn't your fault." "Doesn't matter." Hulk turned toward the sounds of combat. "Hulk, end this." "Wait," Obi-Wan grabbed his arm, a gesture both brave and futile. "There's a better way. If you fight, you're giving them exactly what they want, proof that you're uncontrollable." "And if Hulk not fight, Thay kill Jedi." "Then we fight," Anakin said, stepping beside him. "Together." Hulk looked at them, these relatively tiny beings with their glowing swords, willing to stand between him and an empire. Something in Banner's scientific mind marveled at the absurdity. Something in Hulk's primal heart felt gratitude. Together, Hulk agreed. They moved as one, rushing toward the sounds of battle. In the corridors, stormtroopers turned their weapons on the approaching trio. Blaster fire filled the air. Hulk simply raised his arms, absorbing the shots. They stung, but his rage was controlled now, focused. He grabbed a section of wall and pulled, tearing free a massive chunk of stone that he used as a shield, protecting Obi-Wan and Anakin as they advanced. The Jedi moved in perfect sync, their lightsabers deflecting shots back at attackers. Behind Hulk's shield, they were unstoppable. They reached the main atrium, where Vader stood amidst a circle of fallen Jedi. His red blade dripped with blood that evaporated in the heat. When he saw Hulk, Vader paused. So, the monster shows himself. Hulk not monster, the green giant rumbled. Hulk hero. Hero? Vader's voice was mocking. You are a weapon pretending at consciousness. I should know I was once like you, powerful, naive, believing I could choose peace while carrying war in my heart. Hulk stepped forward, the floor cracked beneath his weight. You not like Hulk, you choose darkness, Hulk choose light. Choice? Vader laughed, a horrible mechanical sound. You think you've chosen anything. You're a slave to your anger, just as I am. The only difference is I've embraced it. He raised his hand, and Hulk felt an invisible pressure crushing down on him, the Force, attempting to hold him in place. Hulk strained, muscles bulged, his roar shook the chamber, and slowly, impossibly, he took a step forward. Vader's concentration wavered. Impossible. Hulk not in your force. With a final surge, Hulk broke free. He charged, not wild but deliberate. Vader's lightsaber swung to meet him. The blade struck Hulk's chest, sinking an inch into green skin. Pain flared white-hot. But Hulk didn't stop. He grabbed Vader's wrist, the one holding the lightsaber, and squeezed. Metal crumpled, Vader's mechanical hand sparked, fingers spasming open. The lightsaber clattered to the floor. For a moment, the two beings of immense power stood face to face. Vader, trapped in his armor, his breathing labored. Hulk, scorched and bleeding, but unyielding. You could kill me, Vader said quietly. Prove you're the monster they fear. Hulk's eyes burned. Banner's voice whispered, do it. He's killed children. He deserves it. But Hulk thought of the Twi'lek girl, of Yoda's words, of Obi-Wan's trust. Hulk not killer. He released Vader and stepped back. Vader stared, his mask unreadable. Then, slowly, he retrieved his lightsaber and ignited it. Then you are weak. No, Obi-Wan said, appearing at Hulk's side. He's stronger than you'll ever be. Vader paused. For a heartbeat, something flickered in his stance, doubt, regret, then it was gone. The Emperor will hear of this, he said coldly. Then, to the remaining stormtroopers, retreat, this assault has failed. As the Empire's forces withdrew, Hulk collapsed to one knee, exhausted. The lightsaber wound was already healing, but the emotional toll was heavier. Anakin knelt beside him. You saved us. Hulk, tired, the green giant admitted, always fighting, when it end. Obi-Wan placed a hand on his massive shoulder. When you decide it does. And in that moment, surrounded by Jedi, by friends, Hulk made a choice. Not to run, not to rage, but to stay, to defend, to be more than the monster the galaxy feared. Outside, stars burned cold and distant. The Empire licked its wounds, and the Force whispered of storms yet to come. But for now, there was peace, fragile, precious, and worth fighting for. In the Obsidian throne room aboard the Super Star Destroyer Executor, Palpatine listened to Vader's report with steepled fingers and hooded eyes. The holographic projection showed the battle at the Jedi Temple, Hulk's resistance, his restraint, his impossible strength. Fascinating, Palpatine murmured when the report concluded. You had him in your grasp, yet he chose mercy. He is compromised by the Jedi's philosophy, Vader replied, his tone defensive. Given time, I could have. Could have what? Broken him. Palpatine's laugh was dry parchment rustling. My dear apprentice, you misunderstand the creature's nature. He cannot be broken because he is already broken, fragmented, two souls in eternal conflict. He rose from his throne, robes flowing like liquid shadow. But therein lies opportunity. We cannot dominate both halves, so we shall isolate them. Vader tilted his head. Isolate them how? They share one body. Do they? Palpatine's smile was venomous. Bring me Dr. Silo and his experimental division. We shall need expertise in consciousness transfer, genetic manipulation, and, he paused, savoring the words, forced evolution. You intend to separate Banner from the Hulk. Not separate, crystallize, lock each identity into its own prison. Banner in a cell of flesh too weak to transform, Hulk in a mind too simple to resist commands. Palpatine's eyes glowed with dark anticipation. Then the creature will serve us not as an ally, but as a slave. 2 slaves, in fact. The Jedi will protect him. Let them try, Palpatine waved dismissively. The Jedi are predictable. They will believe his redemption is nearly complete, that he is learning their ways, and while they lower their guard, he turned to Vader, his expression predatory. You will give me the tool to unmake their precious monster. On Coruscant, Hulk stood in the Temple's Hall of Healing, undergoing examination by Jedi medical droids. His chest wound, inflicted by Vader's lightsaber, had already closed, leaving only a faint scar that faded even as they watched. Remarkable, the medical droid chirped. Cellular regeneration at rates exceeding all known biological parameters. Subject possesses adaptive immunity to energy-based trauma. Hulk heal fast, the Green Giant confirmed. Always heal, except. The droid paused, except inside. Hulk touched his chest over his heart. Banner hurt never heal. Obi-Wan, observing from a respectful distance, felt a pang of empathy. Emotional wounds often run deeper than physical ones. Banner remember Father. Father hurt Banner. Make Banner afraid. Afraid become angry. Angry become Hulk. The Green Giant's voice was quieter than usual. Hulk not Banner's enemy. Hulk, Banner's shield. Then why does Banner fear you? Anakin asked, entering the hall. Hulk was silent for a long time. Finally, because shield too strong, protect too much, Banner feel trapped. Anakin nodded slowly, understanding more than he wished. Sometimes the things we create to protect ourselves become our prisons. You understand, Hulk's gaze was piercing. More than you know, Anakin's mechanical hand flexed unconsciously. We all have parts of ourselves we're afraid of, parts that feel dangerous. The trick is learning to integrate them, not destroy them. Inside, Banner's consciousness stirred, listening. He gets it. He actually understands what I've been trying to do for years. Not eliminate you, Hulk, just find balance. Balance, Hulk echoed internally. Yoda's word, maybe possible. Before they could continue, Master Yoda entered the hall, his walking stick tapping a familiar rhythm. Visitors we have, from the Senate Medical Commission. Examine you further they wish to, for scientific purposes. Hulk's eyes narrowed. Science, Banner's mistake. These scientists, different they are, harmless. Yoda's tone was reassuring, but something in his ancient eyes suggested vigilance. But careful you must be, trust, easily betrayed it is. The medical commission arrived within the hour, a team of white-coated researchers led by a human woman with sharp features and sharper eyes. Dr. Pershing, she introduced herself. Behind her, assistants wheeled in scanning equipment. This is purely non-invasive, Dr. Pershing assured, her smile clinical. We simply want to understand your unique physiology. It could revolutionize medical science, save countless lives. Hulk heard that before, he rumbled. Always lies. I assure you this is different. The Senate has authorized me to. The Senate has no jurisdiction over Jedi Temple affairs, Mace Windu interrupted, his tone brooking no argument. These scans will proceed only with the creature's consent and under our supervision. Dr. Pershing's smile tightened. Of course, Master Jedi, we would never suggest otherwise. The examination began. Scanners hummed, projecting holographic cross-sections of Hulk's musculature, skeletal structure, and most intriguingly his brain. 2 distinct patterns of neural activity flickered simultaneously, one primal and reactive, the other complex and analytical. Extraordinary, Dr. Pershing breathed. 2 complete consciousnesses sharing one neural network. It's as if you have 2 brains occupying the same space. Hulk and Banner, the Green Giant confirmed, both here, always here. But always in conflict. Less now learning too, what word Banner use. Coexist, Banner supplied. Coexist, Hulk repeated. Dr. Pershing's eyes gleamed with an intensity that made Obi-Wan's instincts prickle. What if I told you we could help, stabilize your dual nature, eliminate the conflict entirely? Eliminate, Hulk's tone darkened. How? Through neural harmonization, we could synchronize your consciousnesses, allow Banner and Hulk to communicate without the friction. Inside, Banner's consciousness wavered between hope and suspicion. If she's telling the truth, this could be it. The cure we've always wanted. Not eliminating the Hulk, but Banner, not trust. No, I don't. Obi-Wan stepped forward. I think that's enough for today. Hulk, you don't have to decide anything now. Dr. Pershing nodded graciously. Of course, but Master Jedi, consider, this being came to your galaxy by accident. He's lost, confused, in pain. Wouldn't it be merciful to help him find peace? Peace is a choice, Obi-Wan replied coolly, not a procedure. Spoken like someone who's never lived with constant inner war, Dr. Pershing countered. Her gaze shifted to Hulk. Think about it, a chance to end the suffering. All you have to do is trust us. After the commission departed, Yoda approached Hulk thoughtfully. Trust them, do you? No. Good, Yoda's ears perked up. Learning you are, trust earned, not given, but tempted are you. Hulk didn't answer immediately. Finally, tired of fighting self, if they help. If they help, grateful you would be, Yoda agreed. But if they betray, and betray they likely will, ready you must be. Power they seek, not your healing. Hulk no, but doubt lingered in his voice. That night, Hulk stood on the temple's highest balcony, watching Coruscant's endless lights. Inside his mind, Banner spoke more freely than ever before. What if she's right, Hulk? What if we could end this, actually talk without the anger? What if trap, what if they separate us? We'd be free. Free alone or strong together. The question hung between them, unanswered. Below, in the city's depths, Imperial agents watched the temple. Dr. Pershing filed her report. Subject is considering treatment. Recommend proceeding to Phase 2. And in the throne room of the Executor, Palpatine received her words with a smile that would have frozen suns. Excellent, he whispered. The trap tightens. Soon, the monster will be ours, and the Jedi will watch helplessly as their failure unfolds. The Force itself trembled, sensing the darkness converging. Somewhere, a storm was building, and at its eye stood a green giant, torn between hope and survival. The choice he made would reshape the galaxy. The facility was hidden beneath Coruscant's industrial sector, masked by legitimate medical research permits and encrypted Senate clearances. Inside, Dr. Pershing prepared the chamber, a circular room dominated by two cylindrical pods, each large enough to contain a human or a significantly larger being should the procedure succeed. Calibrations are complete, her assistant reported. Consciousness transfer matrices are stable. The gamma inhibitors should prevent transformation during extraction. Dr. Pershing nodded, though her hands trembled slightly. And if the transformation occurs anyway? The assistant gestured to the reinforced walls, each embedded with energy dampeners. The entire facility can withstand a Class 10 planetary impact. He'd have to punch through 3 kilometers of bedrock to escape. Let us hope it doesn't come to that. At the Jedi Temple, Hulk sat in the meditation garden, ostensibly calm, but Obi-Wan, sitting across from him, sensed the turmoil beneath. You've decided to undergo the procedure. Maybe help, Hulk said, though his tone lacked conviction. Maybe make Banner happy. And what about you? Will it make you happy? Hulk was silent for a long moment. Hulk not no happy, only no angry, or not angry. Maybe this fix. Obi-Wan leaned forward, or it might destroy what makes you whole. 2 halves of a complete being. Remove one end. And what? Hulk's frustration surfaced. Live forever fighting self. Banner want peace. Hulk want peace together. No peace. You're wrong, Anakin said, approaching with Yoda. You found more peace in the weeks you've been here than many beings find in a lifetime. You're growing, learning, this procedure. He glanced at Yoda. It feels wrong. Sense a disturbance, I do, Yoda confirmed. Dark purpose, hidden beneath bright promises. Trust the Empire, you must not. Not Empire, Hulk protested. Senate, Jedi trust Senate. Trust and verify, we do, Yoda corrected. Investigate this facility, we shall, before you commit. But before they could act, Dr. Pershing arrived with Senate guards, bearing official documentation. The procedure is scheduled for tonight. By Senate mandate, the subject will be transported immediately. Mandate, Mace Windu's voice was ice. The Jedi Council was not consulted. The Jedi Council, Dr. Pershing replied with barely concealed disdain, does not have authority over medical procedures approved by the Senate, unless you intend to defy Republic law. The Jedi exchanged glances. To refuse would be to trigger a constitutional crisis. To comply risked Hulk's autonomy, perhaps his life. Hulk stood, his massive form casting shadows. Hulk Go, choose self. Hulk, wait, Obi-Wan began. Banner and Hulk decide, not Jedi, not Senate. He looked at them and there was sadness in his eyes. Thank you for being friends, but this, Hulk's choice. And so, despite every instinct screaming warning, the Jedi watched as Hulk was led away. In the facility, Hulk was positioned between the two pods. Dr. Pershing explained the procedure with clinical detachment. We'll use targeted neural disruptors to isolate the two consciousness patterns. Banner's neural signature will be transferred to the left pod, Hulk's to the right. Physically, you'll both exist in duplicate bodies, one human, one gamma-irradiated. 2 BODIES, Hulk frowned. How? Cloning technology combined with consciousness transfer. Your cells are extraordinarily adaptive. We can culture a duplicate body for each identity. She smiled reassuringly. You'll finally be free of each other. Inside, Banner's voice was frantic. Something's wrong. This isn't right. The science doesn't add up. But before Hulk could voice his concern, sedatives flooded the chamber, gas specifically formulated to affect gamma-irradiated biology. His vision blurred. His limbs grew heavy. No, wait. The pods closed around him, energy fields ignited, and then pain searing, absolute, as if his very soul was being torn in half. He screamed or tried to, his voice split, becoming two, one deep and primal, the other higher and terrified. Banner, Hulk's consciousness cried out. Hulk, Banner's response was faint, fatting, don't let them. The connection severed. For the first time in years, Hulk was alone in his mind. The silence was deafening. When the pods opened, two figures stumbled out. On the left, Dr. Bruce Banner, human, frail, wearing a medical gown. On the right, Hulk, still green, still massive, but different. His eyes were vacant, unfocused. Dr. Pershing approached Banner first, scanning him. Transformation inhibitors are active. You're locked in human form permanently. You'll never become the Hulk again. Banner stared at his hands, soft, weak human. What have you done? His voice cracked. He was part of me, he was. A parasite, Dr. Pershing interrupted coldly, now excised. She turned to Hulk, who stood motionless. Subject 2, respond, do you understand me? Hulk's head tilted, like an animal processing sound. Understand. Good, who are you? Hulk. And what do you want? Hulk's brow furrowed, confusion clouded his features. Without Banner's intellect guiding him, he was lost. Hulk, no. Perfect, Dr. Pershing smiled. Then we'll tell you, you exist to serve the Empire, to smash its enemies, to obey without question. Obey, the word felt wrong. Hulk's fists clenched. No, Hulk, Hulk, but the sentence wouldn't form. He couldn't remember why he should resist. Banner lunged at Dr. Pershing, but he was weak now, pathetically weak. Guards restrained him easily. You've destroyed him, made him a weapon. Made him useful, she corrected. And you, Doctor, will help us. You'll design containment protocols, weakness profiles, everything we need to control your other half, or we'll execute him. Choose. Banner's horror deepened. They hadn't freed him. They'd enslaved them both. At the Jedi Temple, Yoda suddenly gasped, his stick clattering to the floor. No, separated they have been. Feel it, I do. A great wound in the Force. Obi-Wan and Anakin were already moving, commandeering a transport. They flew toward the facility, sensing the wrongness even from a distance. When they arrived, alarms were blaring. The facility's guards lay unconscious, not killed but brutally subdued. Inside, they found Banner in a cell, and Hulk standing in the central chamber, staring at his hands. "Hulk," Obi-Wan called out, "are you all right?" Hulk turned slowly. His eyes were empty. "Who, Hulk?" Obi-Wan's heart sank. "You don't remember us." "Remember, angry remember, smash." Hulk's voice was halting, confused. "Not remember. Why?" Anakin ignited his lightsaber, stepping protectively in front of Obi-Wan. "What did they do to him?" Banner's voice came from the cell. "They took away his context. I was the reason behind his rage, his restraint. Without me, he's just primal force." "Can it be reversed?" Obi-Wan demanded. "I don't know," Banner was weeping. "Maybe, but they've locked me in this form. I can't transform. I can't reach him." Hulk took a step toward them. "Feel wrong, empty." "That's because you're incomplete," Obi-Wan said gently. "Banner is part of you. You need each other." Banner's the name sparked something, a flicker of recognition. Banner, puny Hulk, protect. Yes, you protected Banner. You were his strength, and he was your conscience. Together, you were whole. Hulk's confusion deepened into distress. He clutched his head, roaring, "Make whole, fix." The facility began to shake. His distress was triggering seismic tremors. If he lost control now, without Banner's restraint. Anakin moved quickly, using the Force to unlock Banner's cell. "Get to him, we'll cover you." Banner stumbled out, his legs weak. He approached the raging Hulk, who was tearing apart support columns in frustration. "Hulk," Banner shouted over the chaos. "It's me, it's Banner." Hulk turned, his eyes wild. "Banner, dead, they took Banner." "No, I'm here, I'm alive. We both are, but we need to be together again. Do you understand?" Hulk stared at him, this small, fragile man, and somewhere, deep in his fractured psyche, a memory surfaced. Together. "Together," Hulk whispered. "Yes, but I can't transform anymore. They've blocked it. You have to pull me back." Hulk didn't understand the science, the biology, but he understood need. He reached out, his massive hand enveloping Banner's entire body, not crushing but holding. And something impossible happened. Gamma radiation pulsed from Hulk's skin, flowing into Banner. The transformation inhibitors shattered at the molecular level, unable to withstand the sheer force of will between the two halves. Banner gasped as the change began. Green spread across his skin, muscles bulged, his body grew, expanding, merging. And when the light faded, there was only one Hulk, whole, complete, his eyes clear, focused. "Hulk is remembered." Obi-Wan breathed a sigh of relief. Thank the Force. Hulk looked down at his hands, then at the Jedi. "They try to break us, make Hulk weapon, but Hulk and Banner choose together." Before anyone could celebrate, Darth Vader appeared at the facility's entrance, his red lightsaber ignited. How disappointing. The experiment failed. Hulk turned to face him, and there was no confusion in his eyes now. Only clarity, only purpose. "Experiment not fail," Hulk said. "Hulk and Banner, now understand, not two, one." Vader tilted his head. "Then the Empire will destroy one." Dry. And the galaxy held its breath as Titan faced tyrant, as rage met ruthlessness, as the impossible became inevitable. The chamber erupted into chaos. Darth Vader moved first, his red blade slicing through the air toward Hulk's neck. But where once there had been mindless fury or hesitant restraint, now there was perfect synthesis, Banner's tactical mind and Hulk's raw power functioning as one. Hulk ducked, the lightsaber's heat singing the top of his scalp. He rolled forward with agility that belied his size, coming up inside Vader's guard. His fist shot out, not a wild haymaker, but a precise jab to Vader's chest plate. The Dark Lord flew backward, crashing through a reinforced wall. Alarms screamed. Emergency bulkheads began sealing the facility. "We need to leave, now," Obi-Wan urged, helping Banner, now fully integrated with Hulk, to his feet. "Leave," Hulk's voice held both his rage and Banner's reason. "Vader hurt people. Empire hurt people. Hulk done running." Anakin gripped his lightsaber tighter. "Then we make a stand, together." From the rubble, Vader emerged, his armor cracked but functioning. "You dare strike a Sith Lord?" "Hulk dare anything," came the reply, Because Hulk not alone anymore. Banner help think. Hulk help ACT. We won. Vader circled slowly, his mechanical breathing punctuating the silence. Interesting. You've achieved what I could not, unity with your other self. I destroyed Anakin Skywalker. You embraced Bruce Banner. Not destroy, integrate. Hulk tapped his temple. Banner here, always here. MAKES Hulk better. MAKES Banner stronger. Then you're both fools, Vader snarled. He raised his hand and the Force surged, not at Hulk directly, but at the facility's structural supports. Metal groaned. The ceiling began to collapse. Go, Obi-Wan shoved Anakin toward the exit. We'll hold the debris, get the others clear. Hulk didn't argue. With Banner's intelligence guiding him, he grabbed a fallen support beam and braced it, holding up tons of collapsing infrastructure while Jedi evacuated. His muscles screamed, gamma-radiated cells burning with exertion, but he didn't falter. Banner, he grunted internally. Load-bearing stress is concentrated on the north column. Banner's voice replied, calm despite their shared strain. Reinforced there. 45 more seconds. Hulk shifted his grip, redistributing the weight. Sweat tinted faintly green poured down his brow. 30 seconds. 20. 10. The last Jedi cleared the threshold. Now Hulk roared and hurled the beam upward. It punched through the collapsing ceiling, creating an exit. He leaped through in a single bound, emerging onto Coruscant's surface as the facility imploded behind him. Vader stood amidst the wreckage, unharmed, his cape billowing in the dust storm. Impressive, but futile. The Emperor has sanctioned a purge. Every Jedi, every ally of the Jedi, and you, creature, have chosen your side. Choose FRINDS over Empire, Hulk confirmed. Choose fight over surrender. What VADER choose? The question hung like a blade. Vader's mask betrayed no emotion, but his hand clenched. I chose survival. Survival, not living, Hulk replied quietly, Banner's wisdom in his words. VADER already dead, just don't know yet. For a moment, barely a heartbeat, Vader hesitated. Then his lightsaber ignited again. Then let me show you what the dead can do. He unleashed the Force in its rawest form, lightning, telekinesis, crushing pressure that would have pulverized a starship. It struck Hulk in waves, each assault designed to overwhelm, to break, to destroy. Hulk endured, his skin blistered and healed, his bones cracked and reformed. The pain was indescribable, yet he stood. How are we still conscious? Banner's voice was awed. Because we choose, pain not control us, we control pain. With a roar that shook the district, Hulk charged. Vader raised a barrier of Force energy. Hulk punched through it like paper. Another barrier, another punch. The distance closed to meters, then inches. Vader's confidence cracked. He attempted to retreat, to teleport via Force manipulation, but Hulk was faster. A massive green hand closed around Vader's throat. Could kill, Hulk growled. SHOULD kill, but that's not who we are, Banner finished. Not killers, not MONSTERS. Hulk released Vader, shoving him away. Geo, tell Emperor, Hulk not weapon, Hulk not afraid, and Hulk done being hunted. Vader staggered, his breathing ragged. He stared at this impossible being, strong enough to kill him, merciful enough not to. It was a reminder of everything he'd lost, everything Anakin Skywalker had been. You'll regret this mercy, Vader rasped. Maybe, Hulk admitted, but regret mercy better than regret murder. Vader said nothing more. He simply activated his comlink, and a shuttle descended through the smoke. As it carried him away, Hulk turned to the assembled Jedi. Empire come back, he said. More soldiers, more ships, what we do. Obi-Wan stepped forward. We fight, not just you, all of us. The Senate will call it treason, Mace Windu warned. Then the Senate is lost, Yoda replied, his voice heavy with centuries of wisdom. Protect the innocent we must, even if cost us it does. Hulk looked at these warriors of light, these beings who had chosen to stand with him despite the consequences. WHY, Hulk not Jedi, not even from this galaxy, why risk everything? Anakin smiled faintly, because you're our friend, and you taught us something important. What? That strength without compassion is just violence, but compassion without strength is helpless. Anakin ignited his lightsaber, its blue blade humming. Together, we can change the galaxy. Together, Hulk repeated, the word resonating with newfound meaning. Above, Imperial star destroyers began to descend, their turbolasers charging. The final battle was coming. But Hulk wasn't afraid. For the first time since his creation, he wasn't running, wasn't hiding, wasn't just surviving. He was standing, fighting, living. And beside him stood allies who didn't fear his rage, they honored it. The Force itself seemed to pulse with anticipation as two philosophies collided, the Empire's cruelty and the Jedi's compassion, with Hulk, no longer monster, no longer weapon, but simply himself at the heart of it all. The galaxy would never be the same. The Battle of Coruscant began not with fanfare, but with silence, the terrible quiet before reality itself splits open. Star destroyers blotted out the sun, their hulls gleaming like predatory teeth. From their bellies, troop transports descended in swarms, and the streets below filled with the mechanical precision of stormtroopers. On the temple's landing platform, the Jedi formed ranks. Masters, knights, Padawans, even younglings old enough to hold training sabers, stood ready. At their center, a green colossus who had become the symbol of impossible defiance. Hulk watched the descending ships, his expression calm. Inside his mind, Banner calculated trajectories, force distributions, tactical weak points, but it was Hulk's voice that spoke aloud. The Empire want war, Hulk give wars. Wait, Master Yoda raised his Geimer stick. Sense something, I do. Trap, this is. Lure us into violence, they wish. Justify extermination of Jedi, it would. So what Hulk do? Let them attack. No, Obi-Wan said quietly. We defend, but we don't strike first. We don't give Palpatine the propaganda he wants. The first transport landed, its ramp lowered, but instead of stormtroopers, a single figure emerged, Dr. Pershing, flanked by Senate guards. By order of the Galactic Senate, she announced via amplified vox, the Jedi Order is hereby dissolved. Your temple is forfeit. The being known as Hulk is to be surrendered for study. Compliance is not optional. Mace Windu stepped forward. The Jedi are peacekeepers, sanctioned by laws older than your commission. We will not surrender our home or our guest. Then you are traitors. Dr. Pershing's smile was cruel, and traitors are purged. The trap was sprung. From every transport, combat droids poured out, not the clumsy battle droids of the Separatists, but sleek, advanced models. Destroyer droids rolled into formation, their shields flickering to life. AT-AT walkers lumbered forward, their massive legs shaking the ground. Many ENEMIES, Hulk observed. Good, Hulk was GTTING bored. Wait for my signal, Mace instructed. Let them commit. A turbolaser blast from orbit struck the temple's eastern spire. Stone and durasteel vaporized. Screams echoed from within. Hulk's eyes blazed. No more waiting. He leaped. The jump carried him 200 meters straight up, intercepting the falling debris. With his body as a shield, he caught tons of shattered masonry, preventing it from crushing the Jedi below. He hung in midair for a heartbeat, then hurled the debris back at the Star Destroyer that had fired. The impromptu meteor storm struck the warship's underside, cracking armor plating, rupturing shield generators. Alarms wailed across its decks. Hulk landed in a crouch, cratering the platform. He rose slowly, and when he spoke, it was with perfect clarity. Banner's intellect and Hulk's fury fused. First rule of fighting Hulk, don't hurt Hulk's friends. You break rule, now Hulk break you. The battle erupted. Jedi engaged the droids in a blur of lightsabers and force techniques. Blaster bolts filled the air, deflected into walls or redirected at attackers. Younglings were evacuated by masters through secret tunnels. Hulk became the eye of the storm. He tore through an AT-AT like it was made of foil, ripping off its legs and swinging them like clubs to bat aside troop transports. Destroyer droids focused their fire on him, shields overlapping, creating a kill zone of concentrated energy. Hulk simply clapped. The shockwave shattered every shield within 50 meters. The droids collapsed like puppets with cut strings. Energy redistribution ratio is increasing, Banner noted internally. We're absorbing the attacks and converting them to kinetic force. Fascinating. Banner less science, more smash. Right, sorry, carry on. Hulk grabbed a fallen transport and threw it skyward, striking another Star Destroyer. The vessel listed, its engines sputtering. But the Empire had numbers. For every droid destroyed, 2 more deployed. Turbolasers rained down, forcing even Hulk to dodge. The Jedi were being pushed back, inch by agonizing inch. Then, from the shadows of the temple's interior, something stirred. Yoda emerged but changed. His eyes glowed with the Force's raw power. When he raised his hand, an entire squadron of fighters froze midair, held by invisible threads of cosmic energy. Enough of this there has been, Yoda said, his voice echoing with millennia of authority. He clenched his fist. The fighters crumpled like paper, their pilots ejecting barely in time. Across the battlefield, Jedi Masters unleashed techniques long forbidden: force storms, matter manipulation, psychic assaults. The temple had been sanctuary, yes, but also fortress, and its defenders were done holding back. Mace Windu channeled Vapad, his lightsaber becoming a purple blur that carved through battle lines. Obi-Wan moved with perfect form, each strike measured and lethal. Anakin fought with barely restrained fury, his blade dancing between light and shadow. And at the heart of it all, Hulk stood as avatar of defiance. He grabbed an AT-AT by the head and slammed it into another, using them as battering rams. He caught incoming missiles and threw them back, creating chain reactions that cleared entire blocks of droids. "We're magnificent," Banner whispered, awed. "We always were, just needed to stop fighting each other." But victory was fleeting. From the lead Star Destroyer, a new presence descended, cold, vast, suffocating. The Force itself seemed to recoil. Emperor Palpatine emerged on a repulsor platform, flanked by red-robed royal guards, his withered face twisted into a smile. "How delightful," he rasped, his voice carrying across the battlefield via amplifiers. The Jedi, allied with an abomination, proof, if any was needed, of their corruption. "You've manipulated this entire galaxy," Obi-Wan shouted back, "used fear and lies to consolidate power." "I've brought order," Palpatine corrected, something the Jedi could never achieve, bound as they were by sentiment, his yellow eyes fixed on Hulk. "And you, creature, you could have served the strong. Instead, you sided with the weak." "Jedi not weak," Hulk growled. "Jedi kind, brave, something Empire never understand." Palpatine's laughter was dry leaves crackling. "Then let me educate you." He raised both hands and Force lightning erupted, not at Hulk, but at the temple itself. The ancient structure groaned as dark energy tore through its foundations, toppling spires, igniting sacred archives. Jedi screamed as their home burned. Younglings wept. Masters tried to contain the damage, but the assault was relentless. Hulk felt rage building, pure, primal, the kind that had once consumed him. But now, Banner's voice steadied him. "Don't give in, he wants you mindless, predictable." "Then what, Hulk, do?" "Something unpredictable." Hulk looked at the burning temple, the suffering Jedi, the Emperor's smug face, and he made a choice. He stopped being the weapon they expected. Instead, he knelt. The battlefield froze, droids paused mid-step, Jedi stared in confusion, Palpatine's smile faltered. Emperor want Hulk rage, Hulk not give. He spread his massive arms wide, defenseless. Hulk choose peace, even if peace mean death. "What are you doing?" Mace hissed. "Showing Emperor Hulk not monster. Monster is Empire." Palpatine's eyes narrowed. "You think surrender will save your friends?" "Not surrender, witness." Hulk's voice resonated with impossible calm. "Everyone watch. Empire attack defenseless being. Show galaxy who real enemy is." Across Coruscant, billions watched via holonet feeds. They saw the green giant, kneeling, unarmed, offering no threat. And they saw the Emperor, hesitating, because to strike now would be to reveal himself. The moment stretched, then Palpatine snarled, "If you won't be a weapon, you'll be an example." He unleashed the lightning. It struck Hulk with the force of a star's wrath. His body convulsed, skin burning, nerves screaming, but he didn't rise, didn't fight back. Bruce Banner's voice was agonized. "We can't withstand this much longer." Hold little longer, Galaxy needs to see. The lightning intensified. Hulk's roar was not of rage, but of anguish, the sound of a being choosing suffering over violence. And something broke. Not Hulk, not Banner, but the spell Palpatine had woven over the galaxy. Citizens watching saw not a monster being subdued, but a martyr being tortured. Senators realized the horror they'd enabled. Even stormtroopers faltered, their indoctrination cracking. On the platform, one royal guard lowered his weapon. Palpatine felt it, the shift in public sentiment, the erosion of his control. In a moment of pure spite, he poured all his power into one final blast. But before it could strike, Yoda intervened, the ancient Jedi absorbing the lightning into his own body, dissipating it into the Force. Enough, Yoda said, his voice like thunder. End this must. What followed was not a battle, but a reckoning. The Jedi, emboldened by Hulk's sacrifice, fought with renewed purpose. The citizens of Coruscant rose up, sabotaging Imperial equipment, sheltering Jedi. Even some clones, those whose inhibitor chips had failed, turned on their commanders. Palpatine, realizing the day was lost, retreated into hyperspace. The Star Destroyers followed, their formations broken. As smoke cleared, Hulk remained kneeling, his body charred but healing. Obi-Wan approached, placing a hand on his massive shoulder. "You saved us," the Jedi said quietly, not with strength but with courage. Courage, not Hulk's courage banners, he looked inward, but strength, not just Hulk's strength, ours, together. The temple still burned, but it would be rebuilt. The Jedi had survived, scattered but unbroken, and Hulk, no longer monster, no longer weapon, had become something far more dangerous to tyrants. A symbol. In the weeks that followed, the galaxy changed. Planets rebelled against the Empire. The rebellion found new strength, and at the heart of it all, a green giant walked, not leading, not conquering, just existing. Proof that even the smallest choice, to show mercy, to choose peace, could reshape reality. Banner and Hulk, once divided, now stood unified. Not perfectly, they still argued, still struggled, but together they were whole. And the Force itself, ancient and eternal, whispered through the stars. Balance at last. Epilogue. Years later, on a quiet moon at the galaxy's edge, an old man sat by a campfire. His hair was gray, his face lined, but his eyes held peace. Bruce Banner smiled as he watched the sunset. Inside him, Hulk stirred content. Quiet here, the green giant rumbled internally. Yes, Banner agreed, finally. Miss Jedi. Sometimes, but they know where to find us if they need help. And if Empire return. Banner's smile turned fierce, then we'll remind them why they should have stayed away. Hulk chuckled, a sound like distant thunder. Good, Hulk like smashing bad guys. I know, buddy, I know. They sat together in silence, two souls sharing.